and I couldn't get on, and I was trying to like I said, I'm not very good at pushing buttons and getting on things.
It's all right.
No
It's all
worries, no
right.
worries. So
Everybody.
Faris here will be hosting the event for you. So he'll be
Okay.
asking you the question. He will initiate the conversation.
Okay.
Once he's done with his question, we will open the floor for questions.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So first thing first, happy belated birthday to you. What do you do for your birthday?
Do what?
What do you do for your birthday?
Oh, me and the boys and my wife and a couple friends went out for sushi.
Oh, you love sushi.
Yeah, so that was about all I could eat, but so it was good. I didn't get to have any cake because I'm training for a bodybuilding competition, so I'm on a diet right now, and it's about 4 weeks away, so I can't cheat on my diet. So I had to eat nothing but raw fish. So,
What is the competition? What's the bodybuilding competition you are entering?
so it's a masters over 50 bodybuilding competition in Tampa, December 5th.
Oh wow. Okay. Hope I
There's
can.
other things I do to try to challenge myself.
Nice at 58 years old.
Yeah.
So if you say you have a cheat day, what would be the perfect cheat day for you? What's the meal that you will have?
What perfect meal for me?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what would be the perfect meal? A great big steak. Like if I had like my choice of things to eat, it would be like the typical everyday thing, like the big steak, potato, some kind of vegetable, a bunch of cakes. That's gonna be my first meal when I'm done with this. Like I'm going cake and the whole thing. So
All right. Okay, we back to some of the latest wrestling news we had so far. Recently, AEW, John Moxley just went to rehab. And you also alcohol free yourself when you went to rehab. Did you talk to John Moxley about it, or have you ever?
I have not. I just heard about it when, just like everybody else heard about it on social media. It's a thing, you know. It's I've been sober for 12 years. It'll be coming up on 12 years in March. So it's a thing that people struggle with. They got to realize it's not something that we want to do. It's just something that happens, and it gets away from us. And I don't know, you know, Moxley's situation. I'm glad though that he went and got help for it. If he, you know, it takes a strong person to realize that you actually have a problem. You know, that's the first part of this, is knowing that you have a problem. And then once you know you have a problem, is getting it fixed. There's help out there and you can get it fixed, which he's doing. And that is awesome, very commendable to him. But you know, we live a fast lifestyle doing this, you know, and sometimes we have to keep it in check. And sometimes that's not always easy to do. So, but good for him. You know, I wish nothing but the best. You know, of course, if he ever wanted to talk about it, I'm here. You know, it's some people just want to get help and let it go on. You know, so some people don't want to talk about it, and that's okay. And I'm not that one. I love talking about it because my life has been awesome. Like ever since I got clean, my life has been great. So I have no complaints. You know, it took me to go to one place to get to another place. Sometimes that's just how it works. You know, you go to a bad place and then you're in a really good place. So you just always have to, you know, keep your head up and keep going forward. That's all.
It's very good that Tony Khan addressed the issue with the wrestling community and also CM Punk, and recently I talked about John Moxley. For you, when do you realize during that time that it's enough, that you have to change and you have to stop the alcohol, the drugs? When do you realize it?
When I realized that I woke up on the floor and I had nothing left. I had nothing left. My wife had left me. My dogs didn't want to be in the house with me. My kids didn't want to talk to me. It just became a mess, you know. And when you're in that that situation and all you care about is where can I get either your next alcohol or your next drugs or whatever. Like everything else doesn't matter. And people always, I think that's the biggest misconception that people have. They go, well, how can you do this if you have a family and stuff? It doesn't discriminate. Drugs don't care. Alcohol doesn't care. That's all. When you have that disease, that's all you live for. That is your family. That's your lifestyle. That's everything that you do. When it grabs you, it doesn't let go, and it doesn't care what you want or what you need. So yeah, I woke up one morning and it was done. I was over. It was done. You know, I had to make the decision. I couldn't do it for everybody else. Like you can't say, well, I'll get clean for, you know, my wife, or I'll get clean for my kids, or I'll get clean for so-and-so. It doesn't work like that. At least for me, it doesn't work like that. It was, I have to make the decision. I have to do what it takes to fix this, because only I can fix it. Nobody else can fix it for me. Everybody else can say, hey, you have a problem and all this other stuff, but it doesn't matter until I realized that I had a problem. And I just woke up and said that was it. And luckily for me, I made one phone call. In about 2 hours, I was on a plane headed to rehab. So, but it's, you know, there's a lot of stuff that people don't understand about it, and that's okay, because I'm glad that you don't have that problem. But so a lot of people do struggle with it, and the biggest thing is just realizing that you have a problem and just asking for somebody to help you. Like, I don't want to live like that anymore.
Yeah, because they have to admit, during the 90s wrestling, 80s, 90s wrestling, there's no holds bar, no limit to access to drugs and alcohol, and it's really
Yeah,
high.
we were rock stars. we were legit. Yeah, we were. The attitude era was that, and I'm not blaming it on that. You know what I mean? But it was how, you know, every night we were doing something. We were selling out everywhere. We were going 100 miles an hour, and you're trying to keep up with that lifestyle and live that lifestyle. And some, like, I didn't know how to handle that. Like I could handle it, the wrestling part and all that stuff, but I didn't know all the you know, the fame that came with it. Like you couldn't go anywhere without people just, you know, you couldn't ever leave your house. And, you know, I can't imagine how, you know, Tom Cruise feels. He really can't leave his house. I thought I was like a smaller version of Tom Cruise and better looking.
I mean, speaking of that, I saw with your pictures of you when you're young. Oh man, you're damn handsome, man. You are damn handsome. With that Backstreet Boys haircut, I mean, I can't. Okay, and another news that recently come, I think less than 24 hours, that I'm not sure whether you're aware of it, that WWE have released more talents, especially Keith Lee,
yeah, they just cut some more people, didn't they?
Nia Jax.
Yeah.
That's the shocking one for me. That
Yeah.
I mean, for you have been in WWE and you see the situation. They say it's a budget cut, but in your opinion, what is the real reason for a lot of releasing of stars? Is it because of COVID or?
You know, I wish I knew. I don't really keep up with them anymore. I don't, like, you know, I did my time with them. I was there for a long time. I mean, I wrestled there, and then I was a coach there, and then I went back and wrestled again and was a producer and did all that. So I don't really keep up with what they do. I just know that they're cleaning house for some reason. Like you know, I would just be speculating, and I don't want to do that because then it'll come back on me. Well, Willie said this, but I think it's just, they have so many people there. You know, and what a lot of people don't realize is this is a business we have. Like, we're, you know, as much as people say about Vince, he's a businessman. It's the same with Tony. He's a businessman. You start this business to make money and let everybody have an opportunity, and you do with what the opportunity that they give you. You know, if you're not making any revenue for the company, I can't keep paying you. They pay these guys enormous amounts of money. So if you're not producing, or you have some reason that you're not on TV, they're paying, you know, let's just say $500,000 a year to not be on TV and do anything. Like, you can't you can't keep paying people this kind of money and not getting anything out of it. It's a different, it's a different with Roman Reigns and a John Cena and those guys, because they make you money. Like, so you have no problem paying them whatever kind of money you want. But when you have that many people in the performance center or on the main roster that they're not doing anything with, you have to cut your losses. And I think that's, if I were to speculate, I think they're just cutting people that they're not doing anything with.
Yeah,
And yes, it's very sad. I don't want to lose my job because of that, but it's something I had to realize too. When they released me the first time in 2005, I went, well, I'm really good. And then it took me about a year to realize, oh, I get it. They weren't doing anything with me and they were paying me a bunch of money to sit at home. And you can't really do that, because this is, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Is it more to also blame some of the wrestling community blame is the creative process? There's nothing they can do, because most of the wrestlers that was released today is most NXT wrestlers, developmental, and also some shocking like Keith Lee and Nia Jax, which was very shocking. And same goes to previously like Bray Wyatt and those kinds of. So more speculation is more to the creative side of things. Do you think that's one of the main reason?
Yeah, they just creatively, they don't really know what to do with they don't know what to do with these guys and girls. And when they get in a creative something, because you have a bunch of writers there, they have umpteen writers. I mean, it's like a who's who of writers. But if I was gonna say, they don't know wrestling. They don't, like, it takes a very special person to be in this business a long time to know wrestling. Like it's not a sitcom, it's not a comedy act, it's wrestling, and you have to have storylines. That's why the Attitude Era was so good. Storylines were amazing. It's just like a good soap opera or something, a good series that we watch on TV. The only reason the series keeps going and the only reason we watch it is because the storylines keep getting better and better. And then you get involved. You get involved with wrestling. You get involved with the person, not just the product. So when you care about the person, of course I care about what they're doing, but the only reason or the only way that I care about the person is the storyline that they're telling. So when you have a bunch of writers that don't know what's going on and you're trying to write something for somebody that you don't know, it sometimes it's a hit. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes they hit it out of the park, but sometimes it just falls flat, and it's not the talent's fault. It's the creative side behind it.
I mean, it sucks. In NXT, it's a different realm where there's no creative, but when they come to the main roster, it's just that it doesn't work with the so-called WWE vision of them. So they have to rebuild, they have to change. I'm not sure whether you know about the Keith Lee. They changed to Keith Beer Cat Lee. I'm not sure why they do that, but it's okay. It's just very shocking in the morning that we found out about the release of multiple talented superstars. So
yeah, there are some of the guys that you wonder, you wonder why they, like a Bray Wyatt, like, you could do a lot with him, and a Keith Lee. They just started getting him going, and then all of a sudden, the next thing he's released. That's the beauty of the wrestling business. You never know what's going on. But yeah, there's a big difference between NXT and the main roster. And there shouldn't be. Like, the NXT should be a setup for the main roster. But for some reason, when kids leave NXT and go to the main roster, it's a poof. It's very mind blowing. They don't know how to handle it, because it's very, I don't want to say it's low key, but it's very, very low key in NXT, and the main roster is like it's a Volkswagen at NXT and it's a Ferrari in the main roster. So they don't know how to navigate that, or they don't know how to handle that. And NXT should be a setup for that. So it shouldn't be that big of a surprise, but for some reason it is, and they're not, they don't know how to deal with it.
Okay. enough of them. Let's talk about you. You next. Not many people know this, but before you were a professional wrestler, you are also a professional bull rider. Am I correct? And this is
Yeah, that's weird, right? I
But-
went from one dangerous thing to another. Like I couldn't get away from it. I was just, yeah, yeah. I trained horses and did all that when I was a little kid. My dad did it. I I went to high school and high school rodeoed and did that, and then I went to college and then I did it pro, and then I just wasn't happy with it anymore, and it just wasn't fun for me. And when things don't get fun anymore, I just have a tendency to, to kind of slide away from it, and then slid into wrestling business. But yeah, I that's what I did. Like it's a different path, because most people, when they get into wrestling, it's something they've wanted to do ever since they were little. Like whenever you ask somebody, why'd you get in this? Oh, I loved it since I was a little kid. I never even watched wrestling. I didn't even know what it was. Like that's the most shocking thing that I think people know about me, is like I never grew up watching it. I never wanted to watch it. I never thought it was that big of a deal until I started doing it. Like the minute I did it, I mean, the instant I did it, I was hooked. Like I was like, okay, so I get to, one, be athletic. Two, I get to act like a complete and utter goof. Like I get to just act ridiculous as I want, and they're going to pay me to do this, and I get to travel all over the world, and somebody's going to pay me to do that. Where do I sign? Like, can I sign up right now? so yeah, it was something I just fell into by accident. I had two friends of mine that did it, and when they asked me, and when I saw them again, I hadn't seen them for a few years, and asked them what they were doing. They said they were wrestling up. They used to have small territories. They were wrestling in Smoky Mountain and the small areas in Nashville and stuff. And I laughed at them. I literally, thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard. And then they said, well, you should try it. And then I tried it, and they beat the life out of me. I mean, they just beat me to death. And I went, this is awesome.
you love the pain. I mean, back to the pool thing. They have a rodeo scholarship. Is that only at one state, or there's a whole?
Yeah, so it's just like a football scholarship or a baseball scholarship or anything like that. They have rodeo scholarships to these smaller schools. I wouldn't say smaller schools, but schools that have that. They offer a ag business program or something like that. So you study that, and then you're on the rodeo team. So it's just a team sport, just like anything else. And you go to the college finals, and you have all these national finals and college finals and stuff like that. So but it's not that popular. So people don't, it's not like a football where everybody wants a football scholarship. I had a bunch of those. I just didn't want to go. I had one rodeo scholarship that a buddy of mine had went to Sam Houston State. I got that, worked and got that and did that, because that's, you just have to follow your heart and your passion. My passion, yeah, I could play football and I was good at it, but I didn't really have a passion for it. I just did it because I could. Like that sounds very cocky, but it's not being cocky. It was just I was good at it, but it wasn't where my heart was at. My heart was in training horses and rodeoing, stuff like that. So I took that scholarship and went to school for a little while. I didn't finish, but school just wasn't my thing. I guess professional wrestling was, because now I've been doing it for over 30 years. So I guess I found my niche.
For someone who doesn't know wrestling at all, you took the risk to become a professional wrestler. It's a do or die. I mean, you are a risk taker. I mean, speaking of a risk taker, I heard a story once that you, even when Vince, you talked to Vince, that you said maybe you can work on the weekends. You want to, because you have work.
Oh, so you heard that story?
Yeah, I heard that story.
It's a good story, because that's how much I didn't know about wrestling. Like when we had our tryout, we went from our tryout, went right into Vince's office. They liked us. They wanted to talk to us about sending us a contract and stuff. And so it's me and Bart, and we were standing in front of JJ Dillon and Vince this is when Vince still met you and actually talked to you and had hands-on with hiring people. And he goes, so we like what you did. We're going to send you a contract, and you look it over, have a lawyer look it over or whatever. It's just a basic little contract that says you'll work 12 days out of the year. Little did I know that when I got hired, I worked 300 days out of the year for the next 3 years, which I was never home. Yeah, I said, well, I have a regular job. Like, can I just do this on the weekends? And he literally did that Vince laugh, the ha, 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 ha. I think you'll, and literally said, I think you'll be all right. And, obviously Vince saw something in me that I didn't see. And then I just realized, okay, I'm not going to do this on the weekend. I'm going to do it a long time for a bunch of days out of the year. So yeah, it was a good little moment.
Is that the only time that you had a talk with Vince, or?
No, me and Vince have a pretty good relationship. I mean, it's I don't have a problem with Vince. Vince is a business guy. Vince is very business orientated, and he's very intimidating when you try to talk to him. So I tried to avoid him at all costs. But but that's the only way to really get problems solved, is you go right to the source. You don't go to 5 different people to get an answer that you need. When you want the answer that you're looking for and not getting it, you go to Vince and you talk to him. So yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good relationship. I mean, we're not best friends. I mean, we're friends, but I don't know if Vince has any best friends.
Well, we can say Undertaker is so, but yeah. But there's one infamous that during the Hall of Fame that you said, wait, Vince can't fire me again.
Yeah, you can't fire me. I didn't work there anymore. I was the only one. I
After
was the
that,
only one of the whole group that didn't work there anymore. So, because Vince hates it when, like, anytime you do a Hall of Fame speech or something, he loathes people talking about him. He just, he looks at it more like it's their moment. Like, it's your moment. It's your Hall of Fame moment. You do what you want. You don't have to thank me. He gives you the opportunity, and you do with it what you want. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's really all on you. So he doesn't want any props for anything. So he hates it when you mention him. And we were all sitting there, and they all said that, and they go, they're all going to get in trouble. And I go, well, I'm not, because I work for a different company. You cannot fire me. So I'm safe.
After that, did Vince talk to you about anything about that, or just ignore it?
Yeah, and then you just get, the AEW chants, and then Hunter comes over the top of that and says something about our, company that I'm sure he regrets now. So, you're trying to diffuse something that's getting out of hand. So, and he's pretty good at diffusing things, But I knew they were going to do it, and I was just waiting for it, and they did it. They, the fans know. So.
All right. So you got a contract, and you in a tag team. I mean, most of your career in WWE is mostly tag team. Your first is with the Smoking Gun, with Bart Gunn as your on-screen brother, and you won your first championship title, tag team titles. What does it feel like from someone who doesn't know wrestling to win a tag team championship?
It kind of I guess and like, I've won them 11 times, so I've won one, and every one of them is very special. It's not like you win it once and then you just go because it just means that you're the number one guy. I mean, you're the team that everybody wants to be, and it just solidifies the hard work that you put in, the dedication that you do. It's not like 2 people make the decision to put it on you. It's a fan perspective. It's how popular you are, how good you are, or how good we think we are. Anyway, but it's very special, because that's like winning the World Series or winning the NFL championship. Whenever you have that means that you're the best. That means that you've put the work in. And that just shows that's the end of all the hard work that you put in, and the time away from your family, the time on the road, the endless hours on the road, the endless hours in airplanes, rent-a-cars, hotels, different and it just and that's the pinnacle, and that's the best part of the whole business, is winning a championship. So it's special, and it means a lot.
Another very special is your first WrestleMania match against Owen Hart and Yokozuna.
Yeah, right.
What's
Yeah,
the feeling?
WrestleMania is something is a spectacle in itself. It's that's the Super Bowl for us, and it's a lot of fun. It's our end of the year kind of big event, and it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people. I mean, I remember when we did, I think it was 18 or something in Toronto, and there was 86,000 people. That's a bunch of people. that is a bunch of people cheering for you. So that's pretty cool.
Were you nervous for your first WrestleMania match, and also with Yokozuna and Owen Hart?
Mhm.
What was you felt like when you're going through the gorilla, then you're going into the ramp, going into the ring? What was that moment? Do you suck it in, or you?
Yeah, you just, the minute you come through the curtain and see all the people, and you realize, hey, this is what everybody's been talking about. This is what, mostly every wrestling person that's ever wrestled, from the indie scene to being on the main roster, you want to be in that situation. And when you go through the curtain and you hear all the people, whether they boo you or cheer you, it doesn't matter, because they're still acknowledging you, of what you've done. And you literally walk out and you take it in, and sometimes it'll take your breath away, because the energy and the atmosphere and the moment is very overwhelming, and you have to go through the curtain and take it all in, and then realize, hey, I've made it. I'm here. Hey, this is great. And then you go to work, and then you do, because that's, still after you absorb that and take it all in, you go, oh, I still have to go out here and wrestle. That's what they came to see. So, and then you do that. But Yoko was amazing. Owen in his own right is amazing. So you couldn't, you couldn't, ask for anybody better than for your first WrestleMania is to have Yoko and Owen as, on the other side from you.
Yeah. So after that, I think not long after you have your neck surgery, right? Your first injury. Am I correct? Did you hear that? What is it, during a match or something? What happened?
Say that again.
What happened until you need a neck surgery?
I don't know if I understand what you're saying. So
you had your first injury, your neck injury, am I correct?
Oh, my neck thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I had we were in the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California, and I was on the floor, and Tom Pritchard had come off the top and just hit me in the back. It was just an accident. It's just, things happen. Like when you have a bunch of guys throwing each other around, you have accidents. It's not, nobody ever wants to do it, or it's never malicious or anything like that. It's just things that happen. I mean, we're bouncing off the floor, and everybody thinks that that's very soft, and it is not soft, but your bodies just are not meant to do that. Like our bodies, when we were made, it's not, hey, I'm going to make you to bounce off concrete for 300 days out of the year, and then nothing's going to happen to you. But eventually things happen. Your neck, unfortunately, is one of the things that it's a more common, like you don't want it to be, but it's a more common injury in wrestling is neck injuries, because just the whiplash and everything that you take from bumping and stuff like that. And I just got hit in the back of the head, and it exploded one of my discs in my neck, and I had to go have it, fused and put back together, and then I was fine after that.
Okay, we're going to open up to questions to the fans. So whoever will have a question, you can just raise your hands, and I will unmute. I can unmute the audio for you.
Oh, we have a little
Okay,
hand.
Riju. Riju is from Sportskeeda. Riju, you may proceed with your question.
I just put this on record.
Okay.
Perfect. Hey, Matt. a big fan of yours. I mean, right from the Smoking Guns until now. So honored to be speaking to you. Let's get right down to it. You were part of a wrestling war in the 90s, right?
Mm.
And you are part of a wrestling war right now. Do you think there's a chance that AEW could, you know, uh, take down the big guns?
I don't. So that's an awesome question, by the way, and thanks for coming on here. And it's good to see you. It's always good to interact with people. Taking the time today. That's a good question, and I don't think that it's a. Do we really want to take them down? I mean, is it better that we just have competition? Like I think that's what made the Attitude Era and the thing with WCW and WWE good, is there was competition. If you don't have any competition, then ours, as I feel, these are my opinions, I feel that we thrive on competition, whether it's between wrestlers and doing their thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it brings out the best in everybody. Can we have just as good a product as WWE? Yeah, we can. As long as we just be us. Like the minute we try to start poking the bear or try to say we're better than them, I feel we're not concentrating on best that AEW can do. Like WWE is always going to be WWE, and AEW is going to be AEW. So let's just be us. And if our paths cross and it becomes something like that, let it happen naturally. I think, yes, we have a very good product and we have something that fans enjoy. It's something different than the everyday thing that you see. You get so much WWE product that you just go, gosh, I wish I could just watch something else that's the same. It's just like when we go to fast food restaurants. We don't go to McDonald's every single time. I want an option. Sometimes I want to go to Burger King. So there's just options. And the more options you have, I feel it's better for the fans. And then they can enjoy wrestling as it is. You can see AEW and the product that we have. You can watch WWE. It doesn't matter to me as long as you watch our product too, you know. But I think it's healthy to have competition, but I don't think that we need to more or less worry so much about, hey, can we overtake them? If that makes sense. That's how I look at it.
Totally does. Great answer there. So you were, when Sting came to WWE, you were part of his debut match. Do you think Triple H should have gone over in that match, honestly? And obviously he's doing great in AEW right now. Do you see a difference between how he was used there and how he's been used in AEW?
Sting's an icon. He's a great wrestling figure, and he still has something that people want to see. You know, that's sometimes I worry about this as, you know, performing with the boys also. I'm always, that's my biggest thing is, do people really care about me? Do they care about seeing me? But they do. And it's the same thing with Sting. You still want to see him because a lot of the fan base that we have get to sit with their kids. Like the biggest thing for me and the biggest thing that I hear is, hey, when I go to AEW with my kids or my son or my daughter or whatever, I get to show them the people that I grew up with. So it's a good parenting moment, and it's a good bonding moment, I feel. It's the same thing with me. When people go, hey, the New Age Outlaws were amazing. This is Billy. This is who I grew up with. And now you know, I get to see like the Darby Allins or the MJFs or the Jungle Boys. But this is who your dad grew up with. So it's a good bonding moment, and still you can still see people that are relevant in the business that were back then. There's not a lot of us left. so the ones that are in good shape and can still do this, I feel it's fun for like it's just something else for the fans to enjoy.
And I mean, the question, Owen Hart was brought up some time ago. I am sure he's played a few ribs on you over the years. And AEW is also paying tribute to Owen Hart through the tournament, which is coming up. So your thoughts on Owen as a person, as a river, and the tournament?
Yeah, we were lucky that we only came in on the back end of when all the ribs like started to go away, because I heard, through the grapevine that there was a lot of craziness that they would do and some of the wild. And I was like, I don't want any part of that. I don't want, like, I'm not much of a ribber, but Owen was, and it wasn't harmful things. It was just funny things that you never really expect from him. So luckily I didn't come into the peak of that when they used to do really crazy things, but Owen was really good at and always putting the blame somewhere else and never getting caught. I think that's the biggest art to ribbing, is not getting caught doing it, and he was a master at it, and luckily I never really had to find out about that.
All right, two last questions before I wind up. CM Punk, you've worked with CM Punk elsewhere, and you are working with CM Punk now. I mean, maybe not directly, but did you feel the paradigm shift when CM Punk came back to wrestling and you were a part of the experience?
Yeah, I think it was a great moment. I was there in the United Center when he came out, and it was like, this was one of the things that I tried to, like, I literally went out in the arena, because I'm from that I like to experience things like that, like naturally and in people. I don't want to see it on TV. I don't, like, if I'm there, why would I not go out? Because there was dude, when he came out, there was an energy in that building, and it literally, like I talked about earlier, took your breath away, because it's just like the thing that went viral with the guy that started crying, because it's emotional. Like, people don't associate emotions with wrestling, but that's when you get your best stuff. Like, if you're emotionally invested in wrestling, which is hard to do these days, but if you can do that, that's a whole nother level. And a lot of these kids don't understand that, because they only saw it on TV. They never got to experience what it's like to walk out, like to wrestle with a Stone Cold Steve Austin and the place go absolutely insane, like insane. So, and I've been with them all. So I could literally say I've been in the ring with them, against them. And it's so emotional that it's super cool. And it's nothing against our talent in any company. Like, I don't think WWE, Roman Reigns might be close to it. But you don't have any people that are that over. Like, I'm talking over. So when CM Punk made his debut, the place went insane, because it's emotional. And when things are emotional, you get a whole different feeling. And I went out there and I got goosebumps. I mean, I got goosebumps now just talking about it, because it is so cool to see that people still are that invested in him after 7 years. And he finally came back, and it was a great moment for wrestling. And it was something that this younger generation, and I hope they just understood the gravity of what that was. And when he came out like that, I don't know what just happened. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry.
All good.
Are you able to see us?
Yeah, hold on. Let me figure out why my computer just did. I still see everybody on the right. I just don't see me
Oh, I
anymore.
think I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hold 1 second, please. Let me see. Oh! It's the little things that make me excited. Sorry, I did it. I found it. I don't know why it kicked me off, but I did it. There. We're back.
Okay.
We're back.
Riju, do you
So I
want
hope I answered all your questions that you wanted. If you had any more, I mean, that was a.
one
Yeah,
last
one
question?
last question, and I'll sign out. Lots of people on the call. If you had to make a modern version of D Generation X with AEW talent, So who's the new Billy Gunn? Who's the new Waltman? Who's the new Road Dogg? Who's the new Hunter?
Whoa, that's a good one. Wow, you put me on the spot. Wow, you stumped me. Okay, so let's start with the leader. We have to have a leader. So who would be our leader? Other than, of course, me, because I'd be the most likely one. Let's take me out of that. Because I was the best one in the whole group. So let's take me out of it. So I'm a big MJF fan. So I'll go with MJF as the Triple H guy. X-Pac, we'd have to go, maybe Darby Allin. The New Age Outlaws, we'd have to go. Let's go Young Bucks. Got to put them in there. Let's go Young Bucks. They're kind of New Age Outlawish, because they're goofy and that's all we were. And then our China would have to be, what girl would be our China? Let's go Ruby Soho as our China. Who else do we have? That's it, right?
That's it. Just to sign out, I mean, can you please tell our readers to suck it?
Yeah. So if you're not down with the Asian fest here, then we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Thank you very much. Okay, if there's any more questions, we have more time. I mean, do you have any more questions? Anyone?
Anyone interested to ask a question?
You
Okay,
can.
hi, Harry.
Harry. Okay.
Harry, okay. Harry.
All right.
Hi, Willie.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hi, my name is Harry.
Hey, man, how are you?
Just like you, I'm also a tag team champion. I have my belt here. Yeah.
All right, see that?
I just want to show
See,
my
you're
tag team.
already champ. See,
Yeah.
we have something in common. We were both champs at one time.
Yeah. My question is very simple. I know you have been wrestling tag team with a lot of partners. I think who is the best tag team partner in your career?
Who's the best what?
Best tag team partner.
Best tag team partner that I had?
Best to work with, I guess.
Yeah, so like tags are my thing. I just like tags. I never liked singles. I had a singles run for a little while, but I don't know. I just never liked it. And each one of my like it wasn't like, I know the common denominator in all my tags were me because I was in most of them, or all of them actually. But we all had our own thing, and that's what made everyone that I was in special. It wasn't just me. It was the chemistry that we had together. It was, when me and Bart first started, it was me and him starting, so we were kind of in that same level. And then I guess Road Dogg would have to be it, only because I did so much with him. Like all my success came with him. And we had at first we were not even supposed to be a tag, and then they put us together, and it was something that you couldn't ever predict that was going to be that good. Yeah. A lot of people say, well, they never really wrestled that good, but it wasn't ever about wrestling for us. It was about entertaining the fans. Like when I feel that every time people saw us, they were never disappointed because we were always having fun. We always let the fans come into what we were doing, which in turn, I think that's what got us over and why we were so popular so fast, is they just went, these guys are crazy. They're a lot of fun and they involve us, and then me and Chuck were awesome too. That was, people say that was a little off kilter, but it wasn't. It was something that at that point in our careers, it was very challenging. And at that time in my career, I wanted something that challenged me. Can we do this? Can we pull this off? Is it something that we can actually get into and do? And we did it, and we pulled it off pretty good. So everybody, I don't say there was one that was better than the other, but I will say that me and Road Dogg had the most success. So a lot of people think, oh, he's the best. No, they were all special in their own right.
Thank you, Harry.
Any other questions?
Actually, I got one more.
Oh, hold on.
Just one more. Are you worried that the AEW talents will not be featured in TV because of the influx of ex-WWE entering AEW? Because I saw your son wrestle in the AEW Dark, and I find them entertaining lah. So I'm hoping to see them more in the Dynamite or Rampage.
Yeah, so you have a lot of new talent that's coming in, and it's trying to. We only really have 2 hours and then an hour on Rampage, so it's difficult to get everybody that everybody wants on TV. Because you're trying to, when you start doing, because you want CM Punk on there, you want Daniel Bryan on there, or Daniel Bryan, whatever they're called. I don't know what they call anymore. So it's hard to, and you want new talent on there because everybody wants to see the talent that we have. Hence why we have the Dark Show on YouTube, the Elevation on YouTube, because now we can siphon everybody through our TV show. Yeah, they're not the most popular on TV because it's not a network affiliated show, but at least you get to see what we have available, I guess, if that's a thing. So yeah, you can't put everybody, but eventually they will be, and eventually they'll get in storylines, and then it's just how wrestling goes. You get hot and you have a storyline, and then you fall off, and then you siphon other people in. So that's the struggle right now, is just trying to siphon everybody on the show that everybody wants to see. Unfortunately, you can't make everybody happy. So I would love to be on TV more, but it's not happening right now. So, I really just want the boys to experience like getting in a program, and because they just like, we're undefeated. Like that's just a thing. Like, and it's not because of me, it's just because of the way things are going right now for them. But it's trying to get them on Dynamite. It's just like I'm trying to get them on Dynamite and Rampage just to get some more TV experience. Because a lot of people say stuff about the boys. They say that I got them in the business and I did all this for them. And that is not the truth. That is, and that was just a thing with me. Like, yes, I helped train them. Yes, I helped get them on the road, on the way to what they wanted to do, but I'm not giving handouts. It's not like I went to Tony Khan and said, hey, will you hire my boys because they're my boys? It doesn't work like that. They put the work in. They work harder than anybody on our show. They literally go to class when they're not on the road. They go to class every single week. We had Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze have a school in Orlando. They go there every day that they're off. And I try to tell them sometimes I've got to hold them back because they put the work in. And Austin and Colton went and had tryouts and they liked them. It wasn't, I don't want to say I didn't have something to do with it, because that would be a lie. That would just not, but they put the work in. They asked for the opportunity. They got the opportunity. They made the most out of the opportunity. And I'm not saying this just because they're my kids, but they literally do. If they didn't put, I'm not that guy if they're not putting the work in, that things are going to get handed to them. That's not how I got in the business, and that's not how they're getting in the business. It just doesn't work like that. So yeah, I would like to see them on TV more. And there's some other talent that I'd like to see, but there just isn't room right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, we have Fahan.
Yeah.
Wait, one moment.
Never mind, I hear you already.
Okay.
Hey, Billy.
I see you. You're there. Hi.
Oh, it's an honor to
And
you,
your
man.
CM
Hope
Punk
you see the
shirt.
CM
Yeah. Thanks for coming on here and having a Billy Gunn shirt. I appreciate that.
I'm so sorry, man. I wish I wore my DX shirt today. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
Farhan here. We are from a local podcast here in Singapore that talks wrestling kick to the gut. Just 3 quick questions for you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
No,
can
thank you.
please
Sorry,
Hang.
tell us about how you gimmick?
Fine, can you repeat the question?
Hold on.
I'll
you cut
repeat the
out.
question.
I think
Sorry.
You are
Can
lagging.
you tell us about how you came up with the Mr. S gimmick?
Yeah, I will. So back in the Attitude Era, as we know, everything that you said just stuck. Like it was crazy, just everything you said. So actually, everybody knows that Road Dogg had a live mic every time he went out. It just started rattling off stuff. So for some reason, he was mad, like just out of the blue, he was mad. And he's never mad, ever. He's rarely a mad person. And when he came out of the curtain, he said, you know, I'm in a bad mood. You will call me Mr. Dog, and you will call him Mr. Ass tonight. And literally, that is all he said. The next week, there was Mr. Ass signs from one end of the building to the other. People just, they dug it. And I just went with it because, you never, like when things happen organically like that, as much as, you know, I'll be remembered for my ass the rest of my life, like which I don't know if that's a bad thing or just, you know, every time I walk somewhere that everybody always still, do you still go by Mr. Ass? I go, well, yeah, if that's what you want to call me, I guess you can. But he literally said it one night, and after that, it just stuck. It was just a thing, like, and then I just went with it, and then of course I started putting it on my shorts and all kinds of stuff. It literally was that simple. I wish there was a lot cooler answer for that, but there isn't. That's just how it was, and it just stuck. So.
Wow, that's so cool, man. Yeah, speaking of Road Dogg, how was the experience tagging with him, and any crazy road stories to share about Road Dogg?
Not that won't get me divorced. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, he was awesome. He's a great person, and I think that's part of the chemistry between me and him. Is together we were awesome, but we had our own identities. Like he's like the guy next door that you just want to hang out with and mow your grass and have a soda with, or just kind of hang out. I'm not that guy. I am that guy, but people can't see that. Like, I'm a little rougher on the outside than he is, but he's amazing. And you know, I couldn't ask for anything better than what me and him did. We were always on the same page. We literally would try to make each other laugh, which in turn makes everybody else stay involved with what we're doing. And like, I don't have a lot of road stories. Like, I never had any of those. Like, we had a deer jump in our car one time. Like, that was at going 80 miles an hour down the freeway. We were going from North Carolina to another show, and it was about 3 hours away. Long stretch of road. If you know the South at all, animals everywhere. So we're driving down the freeway about 80 miles an hour, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this deer jump from the median, and it jumped in our window and crushes my window, knocks out the backside. We pull over and we look back, there's a deer on there, and we literally looked at each other and go, a deer just came right in our car. So we called Vince because it destroyed the car and it wouldn't go anywhere, and we were out in the middle of nowhere, so we didn't think we were going to make the show. So we called Vince. Back then you could still call Vince and go, hey, I don't know if we're going to make the show or not because the deer just came in the car and just ruined our car. And he literally said, can't you get a taxi? And I hung up on him. This is how city-fied Vince is. I literally looked at Road Dogg and went, he just asked if we could get a taxi. He goes, did you just hang up on him? I said, yeah, because he asked me if I could get a taxi in the middle of nowhere. So eventually some of the boys stopped and we kind of just left the car on the side of the road. Like, that's my road story for you. Like, how exciting that is. That's about all.
Thank
but
you so
he's
much.
an awesome guy. Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Thank you so much. Last question, sir. Is there any plans for AEW to create like a Wrestlemania level signature event, perhaps like a super show or a super show together with New Japan in the future?
I would imagine so. I would like us to collab with New Japan. I'm a big fan of New Japan guys. I think they're awesome. I think I think we have a lot of guys that can fit with their style of work as well. And I don't know that I don't have any inside info on this, but I would love to see something like that happen. Like, WrestleMania is WrestleMania, and it's a one-of-a-kind deal, and it happens every year. So can we have something that rivals that or as close to that? Of course we can, because we're AEW, and we have talent to do that. And to do something to intertwine the two companies, or, you know, now that ROH is doing its thing, you have a lot of talent out there that you could do some stuff with. And I think that that's a great question and a great idea. That would be something I think that the fans would love if you just did it in a big stadium and had New Japan and AEW guys and ROH guys and maybe some, you know, you really don't want to bring indie guys in because they, you know, a lot of people don't know them. Plus they haven't put the time in that everybody at AEW has put in, all your contracted talent. But it would be, that would be awesome. That would be great. And I think the fans would eat that alive. I think it would be great.
Thank you so much for your time. And I really, really hope AEW does a tour here in Southeast Asia and Singapore. That would be awesome in the future.
Yeah, we need to come. I've been to Singapore a bunch and I love it over there. So I would love to come back. Maybe I'll still be wrestling when we come over there.
So we love that.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
taking
much,
the
Billy.
time and coming on here. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Farhan.
Anyone else?
Edison.
Okay, Edison.
Edison,
Yeah.
is that how you say it?
Yes,
With his
Edison.
big earphones on. There you are.
Hey Billy,
Hey, buddy, what's going on? You're
before I
in your
start,
Kiss shirt.
hey,
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
yeah,
You're a
so-
rocker. You're a rocker. Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, so before I start, I would just like to thank you for getting me into so much trouble in school back in the day.
Yes. You and everybody else. I appreciate. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I can't tell you how many people I've got suspended from school, and it's all my
Yes.
fault, by the way. But like
Yes.
I take full blame for it.
I'll pass you all my detention slips to you.
Okay, please do. I'll send you my address so we can get off here.
So I just got one big question. So, it's about The Undertaker. So a few months back, maybe around January, The Undertaker was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talked about along the lines, and I quote, "I just think that the product now is a little soft." So as a wrestler from that era, what do you think of the current product, and is it soft? Is it like what it is before?
So I'm not gonna. I'll answer this question, but I'll answer it because I don't know what Mark was thinking at the time. So, or what, you know, that's his opinion of what soft is. Soft. For me, I don't know that that's the word. I think that the product is different. It evolves. It's the only reason, I feel the only reason that I am the head coach at not the only reason, but you know, I've done a lot of stuff in the business and I love to teach. So it evolves. It's just different. Like it's from the 80s to the 90s is different. From the 90s to the 2000s is different. From the 2000s to the 2020, it just gets different. It's just not the same as when we were doing it. And you either evolve, but evolving doesn't mean that you abandon all the things that you think is right. Like I will not sacrifice my work because I still work. I won't sacrifice my work just to do something stupid. Like all the diving and the flipping, is it always really that necessary in every match? No, because you see it in every match. So it's not spectacular anymore. But then again, that's just where wrestling is at right now. That's just where it's gone. It's not the attitude where you just go out and start kicking and punching everybody, you know, and people lose their minds. It's more, in the lack of a better term, train wreckish. So it's, people just want to see a train wreck and they just want to see craziness. But that's just how it is. And you either evolve with it or you stop doing it, you know, and I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't know that. And I heard him on Joe Rogan, and it was an awesome interview. But it's soft, I guess, we were just brought up a different way. We were just, if you don't work, you work hurt, you work endless days. These kids don't work like that anymore. Like I said earlier, we work 300 days out of the year, and that's not a joke. Like we did that for years. And then the attitude era hits, and then you're selling out buildings in 20 seconds. So you're constantly going. So you're working hurt, you're working tired, you're working whatever it is. They don't work like, they work once a week now. So you have time for the craziness that they're doing. They have time to heal, and they have time to do you know, to kind of hopefully work on their craft or to recuperate, and it's not, the schedule isn't like what we had anymore. So yeah, I don't know where he was going with that. Are they soft? I don't know if that's the word. You know, it's just wrestling is different than it was back in the day.
Okay. So I got one last question for you. So
Yeah.
personally, I am a wrestler in training for around 2-3 years. Some injuries here and there, and army now. So I just like your how you say. So when your sons came up to you one day and they asked, you know, Dad, I'd like to be a wrestler one day. So what was your advice to them? What did you say to them?
So this was the deal with my kids ever since they were young, since they were little. If you graduate college, which that's hard for me to say because I didn't. I just went to college for a semester and that was it for me. But they're not me. And they're our deal, and they always knew this, was if you graduated college, you can come to me and I will help you with whatever you want. If you want to get in it was not, wrestling business is not something I ever wanted them to get into. And it's not because it isn't good for me, but it was just good for me. Doesn't mean that it's going to be good for you. Now, Austin, my youngest, I knew was going to do this from the word go, because he is exactly like me. But he has 100 times more of the charisma, 100 times more athletic than I am. And he's just, if you were to put together a wrestler today, it's him. So and I mean, the second he got the teacher gave him his diploma, he took his diploma and came right to me and said, okay, here you go, I'm ready. But he did what I asked him to do. He graduated from college, he has a special education degree, and now I'm gonna come through with my end. And now I help train him. Colton, it took a little longer. Colton is a little different. He's extremely smart. He has all the attributes that Austin has as well. They're just not the same. You know, there's not two people that are the same. The same thing, I compare those two to me and Road Dogg. Austin is Road Dogg, Colton is me. Like he's that guy. But Colton graduated from Florida State with 2 degrees. So they came through with their deal. So I came through with mine, and I trained both of them. And then I let Sean and Tyler Breeze take them from there, because yes, they listen to me, and yes, they respect everything I say, but you don't want them to be me, because I'm going to train them the way I think. I can only take them so far, and then I've got to let them find their own way, find out who they are as individuals and what they want to be in the business. So I let, Austin went to, Ken Anderson's school. He went to Luke Hawk's school. He went all over. So did Colton. So they've gone all over to get different perspectives on the business. That's what we do. Like, I still go to seminars that other people will hold, only because I want to know what their outlook on wrestling is. My outlook is not the only outlook. Mine is similar to everybody else's, but it isn't the end all be all. like I still learn as well. And if you don't learn as you go along, then you become stifled, and you don't ever want to be that in this business. Like I said earlier, it always evolves. Wrestling is always evolving. So you want to stay up on current on what's going on. So they did their deal, and then now they're off to the races and trying to figure out who they are.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Billy, and I wish you all the best in everything. Good job. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you very
Lisa.
much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Got one more, Jason in here.
Jason in his Superman shirt. Geez, everybody has a wide variety of shirts on. Kiss shirt, punk shirt, Superman shirt.
Hi,
I
Billy.
wore my
My name is
bug shirt.
Jason from Progressive Media. Just one question for you. Well, maybe a two-parter question.
That's
You're
okay.
nearly
Make it
60.
three.
You're nearly 60. How are you keeping up with all the young guys, and how are you keeping fit?
Because I'm in better shape than all of them. Because that's just a thing that I do. That's my, it's a lifestyle for me. And that's a good question, by the way. And I get asked this all the time. I put the work in. I love, like, working out and stuff back in the day was just a thing that we did. It was never, I never put any thought into it. I just went in the gym, lifted a bunch of heavy weights and figured, hey, this is going to either work or it's not going to work. So, but being as I still do this and I still want to do, I don't want to do this and just go out there and people see me, because that's just not me. I'm not built that way. I want to be able to perform at a certain level, because I feel a lot of guys, and I'm only speaking for me, a lot of guys do stuff beyond their capabilities of doing, and it looks sloppy, and they just, but that's just not me. I wanna perform at a level that I'm happy with while I'm still doing it with my boys. It's not like I'm gonna go out there and have an hour match with, you know, Stone Cold or The Rock anytime soon, but that's not what, I don't have to do that. You know, I do what I'm capable of doing. I carry my food with me everywhere I go. I ask for help from the gym. I have a bunch of guys. Ferlin Bailey is my coach. Michael Hearn, one of the top, you know, fitness guys in the world. They're my friends, and I ask them, hey, I still want to do this. And it's just asking, it's knowledge. Everything is knowledge. If you want to know something, go to people who really know what they're doing. So, and all these people have no problem helping. They help me stay in the condition I want to. It's like now in a month, I'm doing a bodybuilding show because I just want to do it. Like it's just a passion of mine now. And I love to work out. I work out with the boys. And I stay current on all the, you know, the fitness things and health wise, and I eat right, and I take, you know, the right supplements, and I do this, and it's just, it is a job. It's a job. It's a second job for me. Like, it's not easy. It's just a lifestyle. And when you do that, you will see the results, but you have to put the work in. And I'll just say this, it sucks. So it's not easy, but that's where I want to be. And for me to be like that, I have to make certain sacrifices, and that's what I do.
So no McDonald's all the time then?
I do not. Even on my birthday, Mark Henry just asked me the other day, my birthday was Monday, and he goes, did you eat cake? And I went, no, Mark, I did not eat cake. I got to eat sushi, and that was it. Like, that was it.
That's very disciplined. Yeah, that's the only question I had. I mean, because I know we're running a bit short on time. So thank you very much, Billy, for answering my question.
Yes, thank you for coming on here and taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Jason.
Like all of you, thanks for taking the
We
time.
got, I think, one final question for me. I think we all want to know, during your D-Generation X era, is there any stories that you can tell us that is not on screen that we not many fans know?
We just did a lot of, like, it was, like I said, it was just how outlandish we could be. I mean, we used to take cameras down New York and make, pardon this, but we used to make girls take their clothes off for no reason whatsoever. Like, but the thing is, they would do it. Like, it's not, you know, we weren't forcing them. It was just silly things. It was just, you know, just us being, but it was very entertaining. Like, you know, it was just a crazy time in wrestling. It was a lot of fun. You could do no wrong. And it was just like, I tell a lot of people this, if you want to know the gravity of what the Attitude Era to this era or any other era, watch the fans. Go back and watch the fans, and they legitimately lose their minds. They don't do it just because it's a thing to do. Like, I was just watching something, it was an 8-man, it was DX against, I think, Stone Cold, Owen, Savio Vega. It was when Savio Vega was some special something or another. And it was just chaos. But I never watched the match. I was watching the people because they were so crazy. Like, whenever, and I put it to this, whenever you hear the glass break or anything like that, watch the people come out of their seats legitimately out of their minds. Like, today, it's very, yes, people make noise and they're into it, but they're not Attitude Era fans, because they're just crazy, just insane. So it was just a lot of fun. And that's what gets you through the 300 days traveling, is the people. The energy that the people brought just literally is like a lightning bolt, and just you can't help but go out and just perform to the best that you can. Didn't wear a Kiss
Billy-
shirt. Wore that
Billy,
next-
Billy, do you have any feedback for us?
Me?
No, this was great. I don't, there's these, you can't go wrong with these. It's, they're, because everybody is excited. I'm excited. I'm just as excited to talk to them as they are to me. Like it honestly, I've been, like, people think because I've been doing this for so long that this gets stale or gets monotonous, or I'm going to ask the same question. It's not, because it's not coming from the same person. Like I get to hear their outlook on wrestling, or get to answer their questions, which is super cool. And they're like, I enjoy doing these. I really do. It makes my whole day, because it's exciting, get to see everybody wear shirts except DX shirts, You figured, hey, I've known about this for a while. Maybe I'll wear something that has Billy's name on it. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around. But no, this is fun for me. It really is. And everybody's unique in their own way, and it's fun to see everybody how excited they are to actually talk to me. I'm glad that I still make people excited. So.
Yeah. I would probably love for you to come over to do a physical meet and greet. It'll be much better.
Me in
It'll be
person
fun.
doing these things is a whole nother level. Like I'm a total basket case. I just, like, it's hard to, like, feed off of my energy on a screen. But yeah, in person, I would love to. Just being around people and feeling their energy makes my energy go through the roof. And I love them. I do. They're a lot of fun. And I'm really cool in person, actually, not just on TV.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Before we go, I do have a final question for you. It's a fun question.
Yes.
Do you prefer long hair or short hair?
Well, my hair is like in the middle now. I had to put it at, like, I was erupted this morning because I was on a different time zone. So I was like thinking I had an hour. I was like, hey, are you getting on here today? I was like, yeah, in an hour. No, like right now would be nice. So I had to throw my hair in a hat. And I don't know. I like the shorter hair, because the long hair just gets everywhere and gets in my mouth and gets pulled out, and like, it's just plus you got to put a lot of products in it and stuff, and and my wife hates it. My wife hates long. She says I look like an old biker when I have long hair. So I'm happy with I'm like right in the middle, in between.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I think we'll end this here, but before you leave, could you give us a shout out to the fans in Asia in general?
Would love to. All my fans in Asia, all 5 or 6 that were on here. No, I'm just kidding. No, like, this is great. It's a great opportunity for you to see me. It's a great opportunity for me to see you. And hopefully one day we'll get to come over there. I love coming over there. I really do. It's a lot of fun. Your fans over there are amazing. They really enjoy what we do, which is super cool. They're not, I feel sometimes over here we take it for granted because we get too much of it. But over there, everybody's appreciative, and we now have a cat in the room. I kind of figured the cat wanted to ask me a question of what I thought about cat food in general. I think the salmon's the best way to go.
He's been climbing all over me throughout this event. Oh my God.
But no, thanks for having me on here. I hope we get to do this again. This was amazing. Thank you for all of you people that took time out of your days to come, out of your day to come on here and wear Kiss shirts and DX shirts and Punk shirts. And I'm never getting off the Kiss shirt thing, by the way, Harry. It was amazing. And thank you so much. For me, AEW, thanks for being fans. Just, anytime, I would love to come over there. And anytime you see me in the airport, feel free to just poke me in the side and say, hey, I was on Asia video.
Okay,
'cause
thank you
I'm
so much,
over in Asia
Billy.
a lot. Thank you, everybody, so much. I really appreciate this. Was awesome.
Have a nice show today.
Yeah, she's doing it.
Give
now.
me a
Yes.
famous sir. Give me a
Right.
famous sir.
Yes, every one of you can suck it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.